I will say, appropriate technologies for human scale market garden farm. 2 to 10 hectare can be smaller, maybe 1 hectare. This is the technology that we start implementing at the farm. Another notice: we started the farm in, this is the first season in January. We buy the land in October, and we make the business model during the production model during the winter, and then we started actually implementing from this spring 2 months ago. So we're at the bottom of the project. It's quite a hardcore period for us. Mostly we're working from early morning to night. So yeah, so this is quite a compromise on quality of life. I'm already saying. So our farm layout, we have 6 hectares of land, from which 4 is bought. We bought it in October, and 2 is arrended. Alex? Leased from our rented from our neighbors. It was super difficult to buy the land. This will be we'll speak a little about the access to land for young farmers. There is already a known fact that the most important obstacle for young farmers is access to land. Actually, there are financial resources, because there are these EU funds, but if you don't have the land owned or rented, you cannot apply to the fund. So it's really hard to buy the land in Romania. Actually, it's even it's not even, it's hard because you don't have compressed piece of land. It's hard to find like 4 hectares of land. There are smaller
long strips of land.
Yeah,
the communists came, they took everything, and they divided everything into long strips of land.
And it's impossible to do agriculture like gardening on that, because there is one long strip. If you forgot your tool in the front, you wasted your day. So we had this luck to buy this land. It's around forests and rivers. It's quite accessible from Bucharest in 1 hour and a half on highway. Yeah, we moved there. Me and Alex moved there. Most of the time we are living there. So let's speak about a little bit of our farm layout. And we start building the business model and biodiversity model and all the layout. So as you see, the green dots are Alex, partially.
The blocks.
The blocks, yeah.
Yeah, how do we call them? They are groupings of 12 beds. Blocks. Let's call them blocks of 12 beds, which are
allotments.
Maybe allotments. I don't know. Blocks, yes, or allotments of 12 beds. Each green square is actually 12 beds, which are 25 meters long and 75 centimeters wide, because that is the width that all our implements on the BCS walk behind tractor, our like mechanical digger, they are all standardized to 75 centimeters wide. We love standardization because it makes calculations easy, so you don't waste half your day on the computer. You just go do it, and you do it fast and efficiently because everything gets done in one pass. So no wasting time. Then that is our annual vegetable production surface, actually. So ideally, to be able to pull in an annual turnover of 100,000 euros, we would need 20 of these beds and let's say 2 to 4 greenhouses, which measure 500 square meters and have 9 47-meter long beds with the same width of 75 centimeters. In between every little block of 12 farm beds or allotment, as you wish, is another row of vegetable. That is the perennial row. In conservation agriculture, or they use these rows of untilled land to keep a little space for the insect populations and for the biodiversity. We've taken it a little bit further. We've interspersed, we've mixed these, they are also 25 meters long and a meter wide. And those are going to be the perennial beds. It's like a forest mixed with annual production. It's a little sort of mini small scale agroforestry. So we're going to mix our annual production beds with perennial production beds, which are okay. They're not only production beds. They serve the purpose of providing wildlife with a corridor through which they can traverse without being disturbed. Because when we till the soil in depth, we murder the animals living in the soil with our heavy tractors and stuff. But if we limit our intervention to 10 centimeters, they have a chance to live. And also, if we give them these hedgerows, they have a chance to live. That's only one function that they fulfill. Another function is perennial production, a place where we can grow our fruit trees, our small fruit shrubs,
cherry trees,
our aromatic
apple,
plants,
prunes.
flowers. So yeah, providing natural pest control through the variety of animals that are drawn to these places and which make them their home. These are going to be mulched using wood chips and green manure, which means annual cereals, which we do not let to go to seed. We just cut them and we move them on there to mulch. Ideally, we would use a woody mulch, wood chips, but we will take everything we can grow. On the spare parts between all of these, we grow alfalfa, Medicago sativa, lucerne, in order to have a perennial grass to cut. Ideally, at some stage, we will make alfalfa flour, which is a perfect slow release fertilizer. So also in them, we can grow a variety of plants which serve the function of biofertilizer. So we will be able to have the plants which to add into our compost and biofertilizer mixtures, with which we will foliarly fertilize foliar. We will fertilize our crops with foliar fertilizer as another way of giving them fertility. Yeah, those are the hedgerows, as we call them. And it's a way of mixing perennial agriculture with annual agriculture, because annual agriculture pays off fast. You can sell a carrot in 60 days, a radish in 30 days, spinach in 55 days, onions in 35 days. But you can sell let's say blackberries in 1.5 years or 2 years. And after you've invested as much as we've invested in the farm, that's not a very good option for our quality of life, let's say.
Yeah. Thank you. So another, what I would like to be harvest from this picture is that we try to standardize everything, mostly in length. Everything has the same length, 25 meters. If you're gonna design, you have your own farm, it's your decision what's the length, but we for us was this length the suitable one. The trees has 25 meters, the vegetable rows has 25 meters, and we're doing this because we can take parts of the irrigation system, for example, from one allotment to another. We try to standardize everything to make use of the irrigation station, system, of the mulching sheets, of yeah, of
insect net, shade net.
Yeah, everything to can be used from this allotment to another allotment. And this is one thing that we discovered that is really efficient and can contribute to reduce work waste. I know that in permaculture, most of people understand permaculture like mandala gardens and yeah, beautiful forms. It's not working if you have drip irrigation or yeah, all you need to be streamlined. You need lines, and if you want to integrate biodiversity, you can put it also by lines. That's why we integrated fruit trees like the hedgerows with legumes, hedgerows, legumes, hedgerows, legumes.
And you also have the unstandardizable places, like the front here in the southeast. You have a thicker forest there. The forests also serve as like, you know, privacy buffers, noise buffers. You don't hear your neighbors anymore. You don't look into their yard anymore. That's a nice natural place, because in permaculture we talk about the offering to nature. We talk about the zone 5, but zone 5 doesn't have to be way far away in the forest. Zone 5 can be anywhere where you leave a spot for nature to just develop itself. In our situation, zone 5
it's everywhere actually, because we're surrounded by
yeah, we're surrounded by forest, and the edge of our property is going to kind of be a zone 5. So in the south we have the river, and the river usually every 20 years it overflows and floods everything. And if the roots of the plants and of the fruit trees are flooded for more than 24 hours, they die. So that's a couple of years of investment and care down the drain, well, sort of. So there's a, how do you call it? A dam. Is it a dam? It's a protection dam built to the south, which we will raise up even further. That's also the edge of our fence. The edge of our, so the protection dam is also the fence, and the fence is also a fruit tree row. So it's a protection row, and yeah, that's kind of the multifunctional one element who fulfills many functions, and many functions are fulfilled by the same element. I'm not going to go into details, but yeah, we use everything like to maximize the amount of stuff we put in there.
Yes, and let's go further, because actually we can have a lot of things to cover. So what tools do we have to maximize to fulfill our goals, the 4 goals?
We have one tool.
Yeah, we have one tool. The most important tool, we're working with BGS, can be other firm, but we're working with BGS Italy, with this walk behind tractor, Motoculture in Romania. And we have 3, actually 4. There's one, another 4 attachment. One up, right up is the tilter. We use the tilter to make the soil yeah, it's like
we use it for the initial cultivation. For example, you have grass, and how do you turn grass into a surface where I can put my seed, because I have to put my seed somewhere.
And this is happening when you starting the farm. You need somehow to have this soil ready to put the seeds in, and this is actually a compromise when you use the tilter. But in the next years, you're not gonna use the tilter anymore, and you're gonna use the one from down right, which is the power harrow, and we're gonna explain it in the next slides what is the purpose of the power harrow. And in the middle one is the ground blaster, is the rotary plow, and you're gonna see how we have some also movies about how to use it. yeah, we work with other farms that they have harpan from tillage. That's why we try not to use the tilter that works like this, because the risk of creating harpan in years, not in the first year or second, but if you use it from like in 5 or 10 years, the risk of having harpan, and also because you're using the tool on the soil that is not dry. It's, yeah, after the rain, that's a big risk. We're gonna have harpan in some years, and then the plants won't grow. They won't be healthy because the root system is not going to develop. So how we make the beds, actually, we have one allotment, and we working with permanent beds. One things that we have is working with permanent beds that will be there at the farm forever. In conventional legumiculture, that they is the how you call it, you plow it every year and till and then seed or put the seedlings. So, but we have this stripe of 75 centimeters that is a raised bed forever in the history of the farm. Once you made it, you don't plow it anymore. So I'm gonna put, it's not from our farm. This is from Jean-Marty Fortier farm. This is the rotary plow. You walk it only on the strip, on the alley, and the purpose is to rise the soil, to make the raised bed, and to cover, if you have ground cover, to cover the ground cover, like clover or alfalfa, or what ground cover you use. So it's quite simple. Otherwise, the tools. Otherwise, it's really hard to make it. You need tools to make raised beds, and this is the tools that we use. Yeah, you can go deep, like this one, or go up. But yeah, it's from, if you work with it, we're gonna understand it, how deep and how up. Maybe Alex, you can say what's the difference between the hole number 4 and hole number 2.
Yeah, we use when we make raised beds. Why do we make raised beds? They are useful because you throw the soil from the alley into the soil you plant in. So that gives you, if you have a hard pan, that gives you a higher height. That gives you more depth of soil in which to grow your plant root, instead of having to dig it like really, really deep with a machine. Second, these raised beds warm up faster in the spring. Third, water flows them from the raised bed, and when you get a flooding rain, the water stays in the pathway. Fourth, you want to step in the same place all the time for the rest of your existence. So yeah, that's why we call them permanent beds, because this bed is going to stay untilled and not stepped on for, like, I don't know, many, many years from now on. You can also use this implement to plow, which is why it's called the rotary plow. And it has 5 depth settings plus 1 setting for transportation. So it has a wheel, and you can go as deep or as shallow as you want. You don't want to go too deep, because then your digger is going to tilt sideways and you're going to be crooked. I find that hole 2 out of 5, maybe 3 out of 5 is perfect for most types of soil, because we have different types of soil in our farm, and yeah, sometimes you have to learn your soil and see how flexible it is in different times of yeah, when it's not wet or when it's dry. and you kind of have to learn the tool and how to maneuver it. Yeah, and yeah, this is the rotary plow. Everybody give a round of applause for the rotary plow.
Regarding the cost of one, I think it's less than 1,000 euros, maybe, so or around this. It's worth all the money for till now in our farm. So we were in the first year, and I think it did the money.
You can also use it to plant potato, topinambur, sweet potato, stuff you bury, ginger. I don't know, to make a long ditch in which to put your seed and then rake it in, tamp it down, water it, and yeah, you know, grow.
This was one. It was one attachment. The next attachment is, please, okay. So is the power harrow. The power harrow, and we gonna speak. Yeah, there's also some image here from Broad Fork.
This is how you remove the hard pan, actually.
Yeah. You use this tool every time you prepare the bed for a culture. It's very important because you aerate the soil, you remove, if you have the compaction, but most important is that you're not plowing. You don't need to plow when you use this tool. You can go very deep from 20 to 25 or 30 centimeters. Depends on the soil and depends on the tool. There are one from America, from Meadow Creek, that is really strong and hardcore tool, but you can buy it from France, or you can make it from TerraTech, or you can make it your own. It's not so expensive. The most important is this tool is 75 centimeters, like the strip. So all the attachments have 75 centimeters. This one is the model that is used with a soil that is already, yeah, it's a good soil, not compacted soil. After you do this and you put some compost, you put the attachment, and from time to time with exercise you can do it like one person change the attachment, but yeah, at the start it's not possible. For us was not easy, maybe. And this tool is moving only the 5 to 10 centimeters where you put the seed. Using this tool is fulfilling the principle of not plowing the soil, but you have actually to disturb the soil in the 5 centimeters to put the seed. Otherwise, it's not possible. So we use this tool in order to prepare our beds after the Broad Fork. Alex, if you have something to add it.
Yeah, eventually you can also use this tool on non-plowed soil. It only creates a fine seedbed and levels it down and tamps it down using the roller behind. So you have a good seed to soil contact when you use direct seeding techniques. There's a question about this. What do you suggest instead of tillage? If one has a parcel of land that hasn't been worked long and the soil is too compact. This only scratches the surface of the soil and turns it into a fine field. You don't have to go in deep. You just have to do the 5 centimeters to put a seed in there, that the seed, like tillage radish, or oats, or even hemp, you know, cannabis, sativa. They have sunflower, not topinambur, sunflower. All of them have, okay, you lose a season, but you gain, you know, soil texture. This tool is useful in the end after the power harrow because it super levels out and straightens your bed and prepares it for whatever is coming next, the seedling or the seed. Otherwise, you would have to rake and tamp down the soil with the rake, which takes 1,000,000 years. So, and yesterday I worked in one day using using these tools, the equivalent of 600 square meters of cultivated bed, like that surface. I worked in one day by one person with a lot of breaks. So yeah, it really, really makes you productive. In the beginning, we didn't think it was possible, but after seeing that using the tiller, the rotary plow, and this tool, like everything is prepared, good to go, good to plant once you learn it. So I really believe in the potential of this tool, and it's very high maneuverability. So you can, if you have an iron stake in the ground, you can go around it. So it's super maneuverable, no waste, absolutely no waste. You don't destroy anything else. You just work your bed, leave everything nice and clean, sow around, like put seed around where you've stepped. So yeah, you don't leave any destruction behind. It's really, really good, and it doesn't till the soil deep, so it's perfect for what we're trying to achieve.
It's reducing a lot of our waste workforce. This is the brochure that we told. We've made one of these in our farm. It's heavy, but if you have a clay soil, this is the piece that you need. And as you see, it's only it's lifting the soil up, letting the air to go there, to have this perfect climate for soil microbiology. Because actually this is what we trying to cultivate, to enrich the microbiology of the soil by putting air, food, and water.
And the roof over their head in the form of mulch.
Yeah. I didn't think we mentioned, but we use cover crops. Actually, already Alex just said it, that we cover, if we don't cultivate it, we don't let the soil to be bare, like to have to do, because then we'll have erosion and weeds will appear. So working with nature, with these patterns of nature, creating erosion, patterns of erosion, and patterns of weeds appearing, we all the time, if we don't cultivate, we have the beds covered with plants or other materials. When we have with plants like ray or mustard or other plants, you have to integrate into the soil, to put them into the soil. So how we do this? We have this tool, which is super simple. It's an attachment to the BGS. Is toacă, Alex?
Chops.
How?
Chop.
Yeah, it's chopping.
Cutting.
Very small.
Many fine pieces.
It's cutting and chopping in small piece the green, like the green manure, and then there will be like the food for the soil web, because they will decompose. Look, this is the result.
Mulch.
It's
mulch.
Yeah.
And you can also plant your seedlings in it. So if you have a bed, you plant the mulch before, you produce your own mulch, you chop the mulch. You can do it with a grass cutting machine, how do you call, lawnmower, but it's less powerful. And then you can put your seedlings in, and it's already mulched. So yeah, a more saving labor and saving soil, actually.
So this is the tool that we buy. This is not sell it cheaper is 1,060 or euros, or almost 2,000 euros actually, I think. But it, yeah, we buy it. Maybe for the starters, you can try it with something else. You can also try with the lawn cutter, like it's also mower, but this one chops the plants very small, and you need that to speed up the process of decomposition by earthworms and soil microbiology. Yeah. Tarps. If you don't use, or in combination, we use also tarps. Tarps, what does it mean in like silos?
Silage tarps.
Silage.
They are used to keep food for the animals dry during the winter and autumn and rainy months. So people grow hay, they make them into bales, they cover them with this, and they last for many years, and they can use them to like feed animals during the winter. We use them as instant mulch. Under the tarp, there is total darkness. So the worms think it's nighttime, 24 hours a day. So if you chop down a lot of green manure and you put the tarp on, you take the tarp off, and in 1 month, the earthworms will think 2 months have passed, since they have a double, and they work all the time. They work, they come back up, they take something, they chew it, they go back down, and they create many channels in the soil, and they poop, and their poop, of course, is called humus, which improves your organic matter in the soil. And therefore, you have mulched and protected your bed. Weed seeds have germinated and died due to the total darkness in there. So you have a bed that has been mulched. The weeds have been eliminated.
Fertilized.
The organic matter has increased, and the soil is moist and good to. You only have to do maybe you have to do 1 pass with the rotary plow, 1 hole, just to throw the soil from the paths to the bed. You go another pass with the rotary harrow, the rotary tiller, to, I don't know, 5, 7, 10 centimeters deep, and then, use your creativity, plant whatever you want in there, and the cycle can go on and on and on. For example, pretty much all of our beds, except the ones which will be protected during the winter with a harvest, will go into recovery mode during the winter. They will receive at the pretty much during the autumn. We will plant a cover crop. We will chop it down, and they will spend the winter with a layer of organic matter on top. So they don't have to, the soil organisms on the bottom don't have to experience such a cold weather, and they have something to eat. And yeah, these are very good, because if tomorrow is gonna rain, and the day after tomorrow it's not gonna rain, I can put the tarp on a bed, it rains, the soil does not get wet, I remove the tarp, and I can work my soil straight after a rain. So it reduces time, it gives me time to be flexible and to set my own schedule, because you want to work your soil. We didn't start in the spring because the soil was abnormally wet for this season, and we had like a 2-month delay to our planting plan, because we could not get into the soil to prepare it so we can plant our seed or plant our seedling.
Yeah, so it's important to have like a good start in the spring, and tarp those plots that you want to put your seedlings early in the spring from the winter, or from the late, from the late
1 year before, by
to have
cover crop, mulching it, leaving it there, putting a tarp on, and then you have access, like the next year you have access to some really good weed-free beds.
Yeah, this of course goes to the planning questions. How you plan everything to know where to put the tarps, so that you can take them off to put the seedlings in the spring. It's a lot of try and error doing the planning, crop planning. We have our plan. Hopefully we have
planning
time to,
calendar.
Yeah, crop planning calendar
gives weekly actions.
Yes. So this is how you prepare the bed.
Take the tarp off.
Yes. In early spring. This is early spring. Here, these are the beds that you want to have your seedlings or your seeds early in the season.
By the way, we have 14 minutes left, Ionuț, just to let you know, until Q&A time. So let's wrap it up as they wrap the tarp up. There's a lot of techniques to show, but yeah, you can find them online, or you can look us up and ask us.
So
or you
maybe
can check out our Facebook and site, and we have some of them there. And yeah, keep in touch. We'd like to share it. One of the aspects of this farm we're making, it's a permanent center for education in regenerative agriculture. So we'd like to share as much of what's going on here. So when you do your project, you can, as quote, hit the ground running. Not waste any time doing, I don't know, Googling, researching, because we've wasted all that time for you.
So, yeah, let's go fast forward.
Because we need to do like good quality work.
Some weedings.
Yeah, weeds.
Because it's the weed time now, weeding time now.
It's not weeding, it's soil cultivation.
Yes.
Because if it's weeding, it's too late. Weeding is late.
If the weeds are already tall, maybe you can say that you lost your battle. So let's be prepared for that. There are some tools that are super simple tools, like this wire hose.
Hand tools.
Some video with the wire tools. You can use it also if you have drip irrigation. Check these tools.
You can cut,
yeah. There is, it's open, and it's only a wire that you move it, and you cultivate the space between the rows. I think
that's a bit of rucola.
Yeah.
And weeds grow in between the rows. Those are 4 rows of arugula. Some people grow it on 6 rows. Some even crazier people grow it on 12 rows on a bed. If you want baby arugula, which is a hint towards bio-intensive. Why is it bio-intensive? Or maximizing cultivation.
Yeah, that's the speed.
Mustard.
Yeah, going with the speed of efficiency.
This is the EC hoe, the Elliott Coleman hoe, which is like a razor blade, which cultivates under the crop canopy. So you have a salad like this. You can go underneath without cutting the leaves, which deteriorates it, leaves it open for disease, and you can't sell it. You can eat it, but you can't sell it.
Other tools, and
the stir-up hoe and the wheel hoe. It's a small farm implement for human-scale agriculture. If the world of the civilization collapses, we can make a wheel hoe and farm forever.
You can buy it from, I think, from French, Teratec. Yeah, Teratec.
And it has many, you can use discs on it. So you have the bio discs, as they call them, for cultivating within the rows or on the row. You can use a furrower with it to make ditches, or you can attach a stir-up hoe to it. This is another interesting thing. It's called the tine weeder. The tines are the teeth, the long needles. It cultivates like post-emerging weeds, like the very young emerging weeds. So if you time this appropriately, you don't have to come with the big stuff, with the big guns. You just pass with this every couple of days until the salad grows big enough to cover the whole field with a canopy. and then everything gets shaded out. But yeah, and you don't only do one pass, 25 meters times 75 centimeters, about 20 square meters, if I'm correct. So you can weed 20 square meters in 25 seconds.
Yeah, with some condition, the soil have to be your irrigation system should be set up. The soil must be wet a little bit,
moist.
Moist. Yeah, I think to have this possibility to disturb the soil, to disturb the little weeds. Otherwise, if the soil have this
crust.
Yeah, crust. It won't work. So from our experience, it's not good. Check this out. Yeah, this is the speed. And all your small weeds won't grow anymore. But also, because we had also this tension that if the salad will be killed by the tools, yeah, won't happen. It's only moving the soil on the surface. It depends also on what kind of weeds do you have. If you have weeds with deep roots, solid roots, maybe there is another tool that you can use it. And going on fast forward, already spoke about it. Alex, yeah, you can the biodiversity.
Yeah, basically you take the discs from the large trackers and you put it on a small little hand tool, and boom, you have the advantages with none of the noise and soil compaction. But okay, this is the small scale. At a larger scale, well, depends how big you want to go. Because this is the question. Okay, we have small scale, we have homestead scale, which it's like a big farmhouse which produces for the family, and then you have also something to sell. You have this medium size, okay, 6 hectare, 10 hectare farm, which you still can get away with using this, but when you go over 10 hectares, either you need an army of people or you need some other tools. And there's some 30 horsepower, like it's called the culti-track. It's a cultivator. It's a large frame on wheels, which goes forward and carries some of these tools. They're the same kind of tools. I even believe it's solar powered because it just drags them. It doesn't do anything hardcore. It just goes forward and these right on top of the soil. So there is a way to go even bigger, a couple of like, I don't know, tens of hectares. But if you reach scales of hundreds of hectares, you need better design actually, and better control of the timings of the crops. So yeah, in order to be successful, one has to be a good scientist. Actually, you have to be a good farmer. You have to know the life cycles of everything. You have to know the requirements of everything. You have to know who to ask. You have to know how to outsource work. You have to know how to be a good leader, how to lead your employees or your co-workers. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. So yeah, it's quite ambitious to try and talk about everything in this 1.5 hour presentation. But
let's go with another tool. Let's go with the tilter. We don't have this tool yet.
We don't have it yet. We use the power harrow instead, which is a bit more backbreaking because you have to pull out the whole big tractor outside of the shed.
Yeah, the BCS is still heavy. This is, I think, 10 kilos. But at most.
This is less than 10 kilos.
Yeah, less than 2 kilos, and you can work the soil with two. You can pass the 2 times back and forth, and you have the germination bed ready, perfect. And it's with a Makita or Devalt is like a autofiletant, yeah, screw. Yeah, that
the
tool.
thing you screw with.
Yeah, with the screw, electric screw.
Screwdriver, electric screwdriver.
You also can make one.
Oh yeah,
it's a game changer in greenhouse, because you don't want to have your walk behind tractor in the greenhouse, because then you're gonna lose surface when you have to turn the walk behind tractor. So you're
plus
gonna lose
working
like
inside.
1 meter from your cultivation space every row. So with this one, you won't lose it. If you have a good soil structure, you can use this one, and yeah, that's you have more land to grow in greenhouse, which is very expensive and produce a lot. The flame weeder, we don't have it yet. We design it. We're gonna build it our own. We didn't test it, so we don't know about it. But I think it's a game changer for some culture like carrots that are they need like 20 days to
Yeah, 2-3 weeks.
yeah,
And
2-3 weeks.
just before germination,
Yeah,
you pass with this, and nothing else but the carrots comes out. And then the carrots grow for 2 weeks, and then other weeds start coming up. By the time they start coming up, you can use your other cultivation tools to weed efficiently without losing the carrots. There's only 4 minutes left. I think we can do like stop, give a
let me check if I forgot what we have more slides. I think we're almost ready. Maybe the cedar
yeah, precision
also
seed.
yeah, because also it's the jank cedar
Big quality of life tool.
yeah. Speaking
No
of
more
quality of
bending
life,
down seeding.
you are running while you're seeding.
You have to calibrate it first, of course.
Yeah, that's a lot of work to do before, because you have to learn the tool.
It has sprocket, a little brush, some rollers. It has like 3 things to calibrate.
It's cheap, and it's a game changer if you growing from direct seedling.
Yeah, you can sow your corn even with this. You just in one day you can sow 2 hectares of corn.
We have one, and we really like it. And another game changer is the quick cut green harvester.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, you have to stay in your knees and cut with your knife like this.
So yeah, technology. Yeah.
So this is the appropriate technologies that we are speaking in order to have efficiency, quality of life, and to take care of the earth. We build graders for our own farm, and we have a lot of discussion between the spacing. We optimize the distance between plants in order to have the same space for many culture. It's easier for us to use tools like the row covers from paper, different culture like vinete,
eggplant
to tomatoes, for example. And yeah, it's super easy to build the grader. We made it at the laser cutter, and then we welded. We don't have this yet, but we dream to have it. The caterpillar tunnels.
It's faster and cheaper to use these in the beginning, especially if you want to go into seedling production in a cold environment to start your season very quickly.
And you can move it. You can move it from one part of the farm to other part of the farm. If you don't have money to invest from the initial funding, I think it's 10 times or 5 times cheaper to invest in one of these. Otherwise, we have to buy a greenhouse, which is at least 20 to 25 euros per square meters. This one is maximum 5.
5 times less expensive than a green.
Yes. So